Hello there. This is Sherri Simpson coming to you from Salt Spring Island, British Columbia. It is a 4 Celsius evening in January, and I wanted to tell you about the owl I saw yesterday. So the other day I talked about an experience I had with an eagle, and I'm house sitting right now in Salt Spring Island at this wonderful place. I want to talk about numerology at another date, so check back in with me at some other time about that, because the numerology of the places that I've been staying while I've been house sitting have actually felt very different. So stay tuned for that. But at this particular place, I am house sitting 2 wonderful dogs, a brother and a sister. And he can be, oh, he's adorable, and so is she. They both are. They're so kind and so gentle. And they're just like their owners, actually. They're so kind and so gentle and so, like, warm-hearted. But he can be loud in the morning when I'm letting the chickens out, and he barks up this tree where there's birds. And that's the breed that he is. He barks up trees so that the animals can come out, and he's like that sort of hunting breed. And so we were out walking yesterday, and he barked a giant owl out of this tree for me. And I was like, oh, and it was this like magical movement. It's rainforest here, and so it's very damp, and it's like very mossy and very green. If you've ever seen any of my pictures on Facebook or Instagram, on Facebook, I'm at facebook.com/YLTcoaching. And on Instagram, I have a couple of different sites, but you can find me at Your Life Transformation, or Your Health Transformation, or Your Creative Transformation, or Your Wealth Transformation, or Your Mindset Transformation, because I really believe I do all of those things. So I have different accounts that sort of bring them all in and sort of mesh them all together. So he ended up barking this like giant owl up in this tree for me, and I was like, oh, it was like magical. And I have no idea what kind it was. I had my sister looking in a book for me, and I'd been looking at books, and I looked at my spirit guide book, and I'm not sure exactly what kind. I don't know if it was just a gray owl. It was more brown than gray, I think. I don't know if it was a barred owl or what was the other one? Not a barn, a bard. And the other one, it could be, I don't think it was a great horned. I'm guessing it was a barred. But it was flat-faced, almost like a cat, like a Persian cat face, kind of, and very big. And when he barked it up this tree, the owl just like opened up its wings, and it was like huge and expansive, and it sounded like shaking a blanket when it opened up its wings and just glided into this tree and plunked back down. And I was telling my sister in a text conversation that we were oogling, like the dogs were barking at this owl, and the owl was just looking at them and looking at me and looking at them. And when I was texting with my sister, it was as though, I was telling her, it was as though the owl was thinking that we were the entertainment, and of course we were thinking that the owl was the entertainment. So it was like a very interesting scenario, like we were reciprocating the idea of being entertainment for one another. But one thing that I like to do when I see animals that I don't often see is to look them up in something like this, The Spirit Animals Guide by Dr. Stephen Farmer. And so there's been a few people who've commented that they have also seen owls recently. So I wanted to just read through out of this book for you, and then I'll pull some cards and we'll see what's going on for your energy and your presence today as we move in from Saturday to Sunday. So today, or the owl, we'll say the owl, it says meditate in silence and in darkness for a few minutes each evening for the next few days and see what is revealed to you. So that's one message that the owl could be bringing to you. Another could be alert to any deception on the part of others, whether they're aware of it or not, and look closely behind any guises that they may wear. This is a particularly ripe period to tap into the fountain of intuitive wisdom that's available to you. That one is the one that resonates the most with me, as well as the meditate in silence, because that was just around the time that we were getting out of the full moon. This also says about owls: quietly observe your environment, watching and listening for signs and omens that will give you answers to any questions you may have. That one I think is a big one, because we're always looking for clarity on things. We're always feeling like we're not clear, we don't have the information, we don't trust our intuition. And one of the things I teach people as a transformational life coach is that you really need to go within, rather than asking everyone around you, what should I do, what should I do, I'm not clear, I don't have the answers, what should I do, who should I be, who should I help, what should I do, what do I want. Really, we need to go within. And so the other day on the video, I talked about how you need to ask the question, and even ask it in journaling, or ask it in a way that you're expecting some kind of answer, not that as though you're in a place where you don't know what the answers are. Because if you're in a place where you don't know the clarity, or you don't know the answers, or you don't trust your intuition, that's the guidance you're going to get back, because that's what you're giving out. So you need to ask the question in a place of, this is what I am expecting to receive clarity and guidance on. I know that the information that comes in will be for my greatest and highest good. I know that the information is going to be even greater and more abundant and more magical than I can imagine. I'm open to that information coming to me in all ways that are available. And then you need to go do something else. So you need to disconnect from that idea of, I don't have the answer yet, I don't have the answer yet, I don't have the answer yet, and allow the answer to come to you. So you're creating that space. So that's where I would go into nature. I would do some more journaling. I would just not necessarily meditate or do a visualization, but just like close my eyes and rest. Or I might do some visualization, or I might go on to YouTube and start listening to Abraham Hicks videos or Teal Swan videos, and then it's as though the things that I choose to listen to will percolate the answers. And if we bring this back in, it says, quietly observing your environment, watching and listening for signs and omens that give you answers to any questions you may have. So it's as though nature will bring it to you. Or suddenly you'll be inspired to check your email, or to turn the TV station on, or the radio station on, or to watch a certain video. And it's as though, because you're in that place of, this is the clarity I'm expecting to receive, but I'm not expecting it to come in a certain way. I am not struggling with the idea that I'm not clear. I'm not forcing or controlling the way that it comes in, or when it comes in, or how it comes in. I'm just open to receiving. That is when your guidance ends up coming in, and that's why you get into a place where you're hiking, or you took a nap and then woke up from a nap and decided to journal, or you took a shower or a hot bath and just decided you were going to rest and clear your mind. And that's when your mind is actually available to bring the answer to you, because you cleared it and rested for a few minutes. So going back to the owl, now is a particularly significant time for prophecy, and you will see, hear, or feel events before they actually happen. So that's a big one as we get into our intuitive guidance. Many people actually feel and sense things within their bodies. A lot of people on the planet right now are empathic, and they're feeling other people's emotions. So that can be really interesting, where you're intuiting things before they happen. So you have this capacity or capability if you know that you're going to get an email on a certain day, or you're going to see someone, or somebody's going to call you on the phone, or things like that. You just have the sense that things are going to happen. That makes the hair on my arm stand up. So that's definitely something that people are experiencing more and more. And I want you just to be open to receiving that, and just allow yourself to understand that that's safe for you to explore and to have happen. And that the more you worry about the information that you're attracting, the more you're going to attract information to be worried about. So allow the information that you bring in and that you intuit in that way to be for your highest and greatest good, to lead you along your path of passion and purpose, to lead you into that place where you're creating that legacy, where you're providing and creating more value, where you're experiencing more of the good things in life and feeling good and feeling better, rather than the opposite. Because if you're thinking and feeling the opposite, then you're attracting the opposite. And the last thing the owl says before we go into specifics of the owl is, your most creative cycle now is the night, so set time aside in the evening to work on any projects. And for me, that's pretty normal. I am usually more groggy in the morning. I think it's because I was birthed at 9 p.m. instead of 9 a.m. I've always been more of a night owl versus a morning person. But if that is not normal for you and you're finding yourself more eager to work at night, and you have seen an owl recently, then take that into account. A barn owl, the message that I'm getting out of this, I'm only going to read a little bit of it, is, since life is so short, treat every day as precious and live it to the fullest. For the barred owl, express yourself through your voice, whether singing, humming, or chanting. Take a walk in the forest or bush, and while doing so, notice the sounds you hear. May your intention cooperation rather than competition or rivalry in your relationships with everyone. That was make your intention cooperation. And so this book I love. You can also use the internet to look up. That's one of the dogs letting me know something's going on outside. I'm just going to let him in, so I'm going to pause this just for a second. So one of the things that you can do is use a book like this, like Stephen Farmer's book, The Spirit Animals Guide, or you can look up the animal, whether it's something you see all the time and you want to know the meaning, whether you've dreamt about it, whether someone keeps like saying it, whether it's coming to you like literally out of the blue, or whether like a deer has stopped your car, or whatever it is. You can look it up. The internet has a lot of different options where you can just look up. But what I would normally search for on, say, Google or something like that is the metaphysical meaning of, and then put in the animal, or the spiritual meaning of, and put in the animal, and just see what comes up. And usually what comes up for you is what you need to hear. So I don't just be open to whatever the response is that you receive. So on that note, I would like to pull a couple of cards. Because we've been speaking about animals the last 2 days, I am going to stay with the Animal Wisdom Tarot deck and just see if there's any information that the animals have for us today. The deck that I am using right now is Animal Wisdom Tarot by Dawn Brunke. And I really love this deck of cards. They are very, that one is the bottom of the deck right now, the ram. They are very well depicted. That's the donkey. All right, so I'm going to shuffle. I'm going to ask my guides to bring forward the card that is for the highest and greatest good of all right now. For those of you watching, whether you're coming to this a year from now, a day from now, or the same day I post it, I would like this information to be relevant for your highest and greatest good and the path that you are on right now. Let's see what information is coming through. So when I do, that one wants to come up. Dolphins. I'm going to pull one more. When I do these kinds of readings, I am asking my guides to bring in information from the world at large for the people who are meant to watch this. When I do individual readings for people, whether they're psychic card readings like this, or whether I'm doing things within your Akashic record, which is very specific and very tapped in and tuned onto you and your past lives and your soul level. I'm asking my guides to connect to your guides and to connect you to your soul to bring the information, or in this case, I'm literally just using my own guides. So the intuition is partly for myself because my own guides are bringing in that information, but they're also bringing in information that is needed on a larger scale. So the first one we have is the dolphin or two of shells. I like this one because we just moved into an 11 universal year, which reduces to a 2. And 2018 is a 2-year or an 11-year, which is like pillars moving forward. It means manifestation is happening very quickly. It's a moon year, which means that it's a very feminine internal year. So as we left 2017, it was a masculine, very new beginning, plant the seed, acts doing, acts as in actions, doing very sort of logical. It was more for me about a let's release the things that aren't working and get rid of the things I don't want to do. And this year seems more of a commitment to let's go inside, let's go internal, let's decide what it is I want. Let's cultivate more things that are feminine and nurturing within myself. So that is what I'm going to be able to give out and attract from others. So that is the relationship rather than a giving and a doing. It's more of an internal receiving, nurturing, mothering kind of energy. And the dolphins are much more, they're playful, they're very smart animals, and so I like that this is a 2. There's definitely a balance with this card because there's a yin and a yang. The shells are upside down as though they're shooting the dolphins up in the air, and then they're looking at one another. Like this could be like a very heart-based card. This brings self-love to me though, versus like external love. There's some pink in there and there's some blue, which makes me think it's like water. It's very like speaking your truth. It's very emotional. It's very throat centered. It's very kind. And let's look up what the two of shells is within this book. And the two of shells is the two of cups card, which is a water card. The theme is adventure, spirit, intimacy, healing, and joy. And the message of this card is to love, to laugh, and to enjoy. So a lot of times we're doing things that are more rigid, and we're doing things that are more what we don't want to do, and we're not having fun. And I think life is about experiencing, and it's about doing more things that feel good. And when you allow yourself more experience of things that do feel good, then that's what you're sending out to the universe through the law of attraction. And that's what you're actually going to bring back in. So attract into you by cultivating that within yourself. I am good. I am fun. I am playful. I want to do more fun and playful and loving and laughing things. And then you're going to attract more of that into life as well. And this one is an interesting one because this is the Lion card. And the Lion card is a very strong card. The ruler of the open heart. It's a 5. It's an 8 card actually. And 8 is about abundance. And this makes me think it's actually a connection of the things that we did last year, which was that 2017 do it, begin new things, like move forward with strength, release the old, start the new sort of energy. And then this year we're coming into that that feminine going within, and so there's balance within in terms of strength. And the 8 in this card makes me think of the infinity sign. The yellow above the lion is definitely confidence, and the orange is the orange sacral chakra color. It's about like creativity and being strong in your personal relationships, including the relationship that you have within yourself and the masculine and feminine within you, because we have moved into that within year, that feminine nurturing the self here. And this is a major arcana card. And this one was considered a minor arcana if we are talking about traditional tarot. And let's see what the ruler of the open heart here says. Courage, compassion, acceptance, and love. Be true to the self and claim your authority. That is amazing, because I think a lot of what we do is not speak our truth. We have been doing a lot of giving to everyone else and not a lot of receiving. So this is that sense of being powerful and strong and true to you, but not at the detriment to anyone else either. So your masculine and feminine side need to be balanced. You're doing things that may seem selfish this year because you are going within, but I want you to know that self-care is not selfish. Speaking up and setting your own boundaries and going within and feeling your emotions is not selfish, it's self-care. And the more that we are capable of balancing within ourselves, our strength side and our emotional side, so that masculine side within us and that feminine side within us, the more we are able to attract that back. So we're attracting partners and relationships where other people are not completing us, but they are complete already. And if we are complete, then we're attracting the completeness in others. And then one thing I like to talk about with people is that then we're actually attracting highest complementary matches and highest complementary partners, because what we are is a balance. We're giving out this essence of, I would like balance in my life. And then we're allowing that attraction of our greatest relationships, our connection to our source, our connection to our ego self, and our soul self to be in connection. And we're allowing that with the 8 to interconnect with that infinity sign. And we're allowing things that are for our highest and greatest good. And that kind of brings in the owl for me as well, because it's that sense of guidance and being open to receiving guidance and being open to doing things that are different and doing things that are more fun and doing things that are feeling better and feeling more loving and feeling more kind. And you'll find that a lot of the videos that I talk about are more like that. So I think it's really what people need to hear these days, is that it's okay to do things for yourself. It's okay to have more fun. We are deserving of wealth and health and abundance and fun. It's not like we have to ask for something and then say, oh, but if I can have this one thing, then I'll give up all of these others. Like, there's that, you don't need to do that dance. We're capable and deserving of having all of those things that we want. We don't need to say, if I only had this, I would release this and this and this and this. Like, you don't need to do that. You can have the fun playfulness. You can be the strong person. You can have the feminine emotional side. You can have your regular human life and do all those fun things that we're here to experience, and be connected to your spiritual side, and feel like nurtured, and. So I guess my message for you today is to allow to allow things to be and this, or and more please, or and better, so that you're not simply allowing yourself to only have this, or to only have that, or to only feel obligated to this, or to only feel guilty because of that. Like, allow yourself to be and to do and to have all of the spectrum of things that you desire, because that's what we're here for. So if you enjoyed this video, then please share it. Please comment below. I'd love to hear what kind of things you would like me to talk about on these videos. If you would like to book me for a private reading, then I can do psychic card readings for you. I can do Akashic record readings for you, which I call intuitive guidance sessions on my website. You can find me online at yltcoaching.com. My business name is Your Life Transformation, so that's where the YLT coaching comes from. So please have a beautiful day. Please honor and love and cherish you, and have more fun. Namaste. Have a beautiful day wherever you are.